today we have Mr. Wethje here. Did I say it right?
You did.
Yeah, and today he'll be telling us about what he does. So can you start off by reintroducing yourself and telling me a little bit about your job?
Yes, so I'm happy to be here today. I am the Director of Human Resources for East Hartford Public Schools. So I think the best way of explaining it is I am sort of the principal of our teachers. So I'm the one that's responsible for hiring all of your staff, all of your teachers, all of your tutors, all of your nurses, your custodians, you name it, anyone who works in the building, I'm responsible for hiring them. I'll work with them if they have different issues, if there's medical issues in their family, if they're going to school, we'll work with them on those different things, and if there's ever any trouble, just like our students sometimes get in trouble in school, sometimes our staff get in trouble as well, so I would be the disciplinarian if that comes up, but we hope that that doesn't happen very often. But I have the really good fortune to get to know every teacher in the district.
Do you, what kind of requirements that you had to get that job? Like, what were you required to have?
So I have a different background. So I am actually an attorney. I practiced law. I went to law school. Went to UConn for law school, and then practiced law for 4.5 years. And I did employment law. And then I had an opportunity to come here in East Hartford and switch gears and be the HR person. So in my previous role as an attorney, I was calling the HR directors at different places and providing them advice of how to get through different scenarios. So I certainly understood the role, but hadn't been in this specific role. And always wanted to be involved in education and really be able to give back to a community and be a part of something that had a greater purpose. So that's why I made the switch to education, and so our teachers, to be a teacher in Connecticut, you have to be certified and hold a certificate to teach for whatever subject area you're in. For my role, I have a certificate, but it's not as a teacher, it's as a school business administrator. So you have to have certain education credits, you have to have your bachelor's degree, I have my law degree, so I'm beyond that, and different experiences and different roles that you play in your current role to get that certificate. So that's what I hold. To be the HR director, but I think you don't necessarily have to be an attorney in this role. It helps in the job, but I think you have to have a good understanding of all of the legalities that play into the hiring and firing of staff.
Have you ever hired somebody that you were friends with maybe or something like that and had to fire them?
I haven't had that situation come up. I certainly have had a few occasions where I've hired people that I've been friends with. I make sure I've not hired any family members, and I really think that would be a conflict of interest. I wouldn't want a situation to arise where I was too close to somebody and then somebody did something wrong and I had to discipline them. So certainly when those issues arise where I have family members interested in looking in jobs and education, I can contact other HR directors that I know in other towns and help them maybe in another location so they don't work directly for me. One of the hardest jobs in my role is doing the discipline. When somebody gets in trouble, it's hard to have that conversation and talk to them about what they did wrong. And so I think it's always good to have a little bit of a distance. Even when you have some friendship with those people, I always make sure it's never too close of a friendship because you never know when you might have to cross that line and be that role model, that superior. Yes, exactly.
What are the top 3 things that you're looking for during an interview? What you would like to see when you're interviewing somebody?
Yep. So I always assume, so I'm not always the first person that's interviewing. Usually our principals or someone else has done a first interview with people. So I always assume the person's already got the knowledge that they need for the job. What I'm looking for is, how is the person presenting themselves? Do they look professional for the role that they're applying for? How did they come dressed? Did they come on time? Simple things, but not everybody does that.
Yeah, some things go a long way, though.
Exactly.
Little things push a far away.
This morning I interviewed somebody to be a behavior manager at Woodland School. And in that role, he certainly could have come in jeans or khakis, but he came in a suit with a shirt and tie and very professional looking. And that just sets the tone from the very beginning of he's really serious, he really wants this job. So that's certainly something we look for. I look for their willingness to work with kids. You gotta like kids to be in education, and if you don't, it's not the right career for you. And I'm also looking to make sure that they understand. I know Synergy. I know Dr. Outhouse talks a lot about the mission and the core beliefs of the school. So that we're the same thing at the district level. We want to make sure that people understand what our vision and mission is. That we want to be the best schools that we can possibly be, and be the pride of the community. But I want to make sure that they understand our core beliefs as well, and that they agree to those. And if they don't, then maybe this isn't the right place to work, and they can find another place where they subscribe to the beliefs of another organization.
Do you want to continue working in this kind of business? Like, this is something you plan on doing until you retire?
You know, I go back and forth on that. I am really happy in my job, so I've been in this role for 12 years. And I was the 5th HR director in a period of 2 years. So there was a lot of turnover in my role before I got here. And now that I've been here 12 years, I absolutely love it. I really like what I'm doing and the ability to be in an education setting. I've had a number of opportunities presented to me over the last few years of different HR roles or legal roles because of my background with private companies, and they haven't been anything that's really truly interested me enough to make a change. I don't want to say I'd be here till I retire because I never know what might come up, but I really have no intention of leaving because I love the job so much. I think I'm happy where I am, and I'm not someone who's looking to be the superintendent, or I like the role I'm in. It's really
Pretty fitting for you.
It's perfect for who I am. One of the things that I didn't mention early on is one of my things is I know every staff member by name.
Oh, really?
So there's 1,300 employees that work in East Hartford schools, but I can go into any building and I'll tell you who the name of every person is. And I think that just shows that this role is right for me. I'm a people person. I like to get out, get to know people, and it's sort of the right fit.
Would you have any advice for us, like, if we wanted to work with kids and stuff like that, what would be some advice you'd give me and my school body? What would you say?
Yep. I think first and foremost, take your studies seriously. You've got to have a high school diploma, and so you got to be serious enough to make sure you finish school. I think there's different roles, so not everybody has to go on to college to be able to come back and work with kids. Obviously, many of our roles in the school setting require a bachelor's degree, but not all of them. So there's always opportunities to get involved. I think look for those entry-level positions of working in, before you even graduate, working in camps, working in after-school programs, getting involved, in a daycare or anything like that, or volunteer work where you can show.
You get more ready for a job like this.
Exactly. You got to build that patience because working with kids is not always easy. Even with working with high school kids, there's days where they'll test your patience and push the limits, and so you got to know how to respond to those things and how to handle that and how to support the kids. So I think that takes some skill and some time of being in that environment before you're really ready for it. So doing anything you can just to get some experience, and no matter what the pay is, it might not pay a lot. But,
if you love it, do it.
If you love it, do it. That's a great motto. If it's really something you're passionate about, find a way to do it and get involved, and I think you'll really find it fulfilling.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Those were all the questions we had for today, but I'm glad that you came in and felt comfortable enough talking to me about your job and stuff, and thank you very much.
You did a wonderful job. It was really nice meeting you.
Thank you.
Thank you.